All right, well, I'm going to explain a little bit just how it works and how Hive saves customer bandwidth up to 99%. So what we do, we use via UDP protocol, peer-to-peer technology, which instead of having unicast connections back to the CDN or back to the webcast provider, we can install an agent that will be on every endpoint on the customer side. And that endpoint, what it will do is it's going to make a decision whether to get the stream from the CDN itself, from the internet, or get it from a peer internally on the network. So by doing that, the goal of Hive is to have a single stream coming down from the internet. That way we only have a very small impact on the network. And from there, we can share all that content, the video stream, internally through the network capacity that is already with the customer. So doing that peer-to-peer, what it does is we do not add any delay in any latency. What we do is just work with you guys with whatever latency is already existing, and we manage that to make the decision and make the distribution. And if you can see the graph in here, you can see there's only one stream going down to one single computer, and then internally it will be shared with all other computers. So that sharing of content will be to up to 20 other devices, and each one of those 20 devices can share with up to other 20, and so on and so forth. So that's how we form the network internally. The computer getting the stream from the outside will be we call it site leader. Site leader, what it does is it grabs the stream and makes the distribution internally. That site leader is selected randomly and dynamically based on resources available. And the resources will be calculated by our backend, by our Hive helper services, which resides in the cloud. So we'll be grabbing metadata and metadata only. We do not store or manage any of the content, any of the stream. The stream goes directly to the customer. The only thing that we grab is this information that will make the decision whether to get the content from another peer or from the internet. If that site leader, for some reason, whoever we don't know who it is. It's completely dynamic, and we don't even identify who is it. So even if you want to know who the site leader was for such and such event, it's going to be hard to identify because it's pretty dynamic. And the reason of this is because if that site leader, that person, that computer goes offline or loses connectivity or starts doing some other work in the background, multitasking or something, we analyze that information and change to another computer immediately. There is no interruption. There is the end user will never notice that there was a change in the site leader selection, but the stream will be available to all of them. And we have the main site leader, and we keep other two in the background ready to take over. And all of them are being analyzed and selected every 30 seconds. So every 30 seconds, we do a calculation and see who is the site leader and who may become the site leader, depending on availability.
If you do have someone who has been selected by the algorithm to be the leader, and for whatever reason they decide to leave or whatever, it will automatically already know who the next leader is, right. and it's completely transparent to the users. They'll have no idea that that occurred behind the scenes. So it's all part of the algorithm itself. That's part of the magic behind the scenes. Right. We get a lot of questions a lot of times from customers asking, well, can we look at the profile of our computers and select who the leader is? And the answer is no. The system does that automatically, and it's not something that we don't actually want them to fix a server or computer or something out in the network to do that. We want to keep it all dynamic.
Correct, and this is another representation that you can see here, and the stream is actually encrypted end to end. So when from your end, from the Cultura side, the integration that you have with us with Hive, there is a ticket that gets generated. That ticket will generate also some tokens. and all that information is being transmitted to every user. So the authentication of each user will go directly to you. We do not interfere on that. We don't capture the username, password, any of that. Everything is going through you. They authenticate with you directly, and only the people that has been authenticated will have rights to see the stream, to watch the video. And that is all transmitted and distributed through tokens and certificates. So even if somebody can sniff the network and pull down the stream, if they don't have the right tokens and the right certificates and is not authenticated or invited to the meeting, they can see the.
They cannot decrypt.
No, it's because it's putting it this way, maybe even double encrypted, because it's got tokens and it's got a certificate.
Sure.
On every single device. So only the people that has been authenticated by you will have all this information to decrypt the video. So in that part is very secure. Now we have two different technologies: the Hive agent and WebRTC. The Hive agent will be a piece of software that will be installed on the computers, on the endpoints. And that has a lot of advantages, because we can customize the configuration, we can select different locations, and we can even modify the bit rates that will be available. If there is 10 sites and 9 of them have a very good bandwidth, but one of them is out in the woods and it's or on the sea or whatever, and they don't have a good bandwidth available, we can define on that specific site to eliminate the high bit rates and only leave the lowest one. That way we secure the stream going to that location. They won't have the best experience, but they will have the stream available all the time. For to the WebRTC technology, the savings are pretty similar. The difference will be the customization of the configuration. We don't have any customization. It will be whatever the browser will give you. We have limited on the browser utilization, meaning we can use Chrome, Firefox, or Opera, and Edge. Microsoft Edge is about to come next year. We have tested already, but it's not out there yet. But it has to be Chromium based, which will be the WebRTC enabled browsers. And we recommend having site info. Site info will be the information that the customer will give us in order to identify the locations. With the agent, we can do more information, shaping on how the network is going to form, because we have the private IP, the public IP, and more information that the agent is grabbing from the computers. On WebRTC, we are basically at will on whatever the browser give us. So with WebRTC, we recommend on the customer giving us site info so we can identify the locations, and that way the savings will increase. But we have seen several times that out of the box, it will give you very, very good savings. This recommendation is for networks that are very complex and locations that are all over the place, but they are coming through a single data center. In that way, if that happens, then we're gonna identify through the public IP, which means everybody's coming through a single IP if they're going through a data center on a hub and spoke type of network. And that's why we request the site info to be delivered to us to improve savings.
And if I'm not wrong, I want to add one thing on the Hive agent versus the WebRTC. I believe that also with the Kaltura integration, you can actually have both enabled. And then the primary solution will be the agent, and the fallback will be the WebRTC. And that's a also recommended setup, because basically, let's say that agent for some reason wouldn't be available, or that, well, that device didn't not have the agent installed, well, it will fall back on WebRTC. So, and if the WebRTC will not be available because of a non-compliant browser, then it will always go to stats only, where so the user can always participate in the event, but he will of course download the stream from the CDN directly.